Alrighty, time to finally write my review of Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Ow! What the? Ow! What the hell? Ow! Frack! Why does my keyboard keep trying to shock me? Oh no. No.
Hello, Toonmore.
Count Sigii. Somehow I knew we'd soon meet again. How long's it been? 2 years?
At least. Time flies when you're causing misery.
And you're the reason my keyboard is shocking me, right?
Correct.
Why, might I ask? I was just about to write my review of Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
Ah, yes. Allow me to answer your question with a question of my own. Tell me, are there any movies you reviewed that were in theaters at the time that you now regret giving a high rating?
Well, to be honest, yeah. I mean, there's Astro Boy, A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, Alpha and Omega. God, I really regret that one. Anyway, what's your point?
That is exactly my point, Toonmore. The problem is you gave all those movies high ratings after only seeing them once. Whereas the ones released years ago you gave ratings after seeing them multiple times. And I can't feed off your misery if the only 2 bad movies you reviewed in theaters were Mars Needs Moms and Cars 2.
So that's why you had the Amanda Hagen send me the Groovenians pilot.
Precisely. But then afterwards, things went back to the status quo with your reviews. High rating for this, high rating for that. It was making me sick! So, I got an idea. If you were to watch a new animated movie more than once, then you'd have to give it a fairer review. And if the movie was bad or had a low rating, I would be free to feed off your misery.
I don't have the money to watch a new movie in theaters more than once.
Which is why I thought ahead and placed a curse on your keyboard, preventing you from writing a review after only seeing a new animated film once. From now on, you'll have to wait till the movie's released to home media, so you can watch it more than once, and then, only then, can you write your review.
Well, that's just super. Now I have nothing to review before Cloudy 2 is released to DVD.
Oh, don't worry. I have something for you to review. Now, if my memory is correct, I remember hearing something about you loving dinosaurs, yes?
Yeah? Wait, it's not dinosaur time, is it?
Actually, no. The movie I want you to review is hand-drawn, but it's something more personal. Something that takes your beloved childhood love of dinosaurs, bends it over one knee, and utterly rapes it until it is nothing but a hollow shell of its former self.
Is it one of the Land Before Time sequels?
Oh no, something far worse than any of those films. Check your coat pocket and you'll see.
Huh? Ah! Monster. Heartless monster!
Enjoy the show. I'll be back later to check up on you. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
No!
Here comes Huey, gonna give you the news. Time to watch his animated movie reviews, where the hand-drawn CGI puppets are clay. If you've got a good story, you'll be making his day. See you at the movies. Time to
I admit that I may not be a perfect reviewer. Yes, I can be a bit too forgiving when it comes to reviewing certain animated films. But I can't help it. For me, it's sometimes hard to dislike an animated movie despite the problems it has. But when I do find one that's especially bad, I'll make damn sure you know that it is and why you should avoid it. But sometimes I do make mistakes and rate a newly released film higher than it ought to be, despite how much I liked it at the time, and after only seeing it once. So, films like Astro Boy, Alpha and Omega, A Christmas Carol, and Hotel Transylvania aren't as good as I thought they were when I first saw them.
Over the years, Burton's thoughts regularly returned into the project. In 1990, Burton found that that's funny. For some reason, I feel like there's a great weight lifted off my shoulder. Did Huey just admitted that he's wrong about Hotel Transylvania? Meh. Disney was looking forward to Nightmare to show.
But the movie I have to review today, not only is it bad, but it hurts me on a deep, personal level. But before I go into all that, let me tell you about one of the greatest book series from my childhood, if not one of the greatest book series of all time, Dinotopia. Created by author and illustrator James Gurney, Dinotopia was a series of books about an island, which is the same name as the title, with a population of shipwrecked people and intelligently aware dinosaurs that have lived together in peace in their own society. With the success of the first book, it would later lead to 3 more books in the series, which would help establish the world Dinotopia itself. And to make things more interesting, the author included the use of dinosaurs that were recently discovered at the time into the series, such as Giganotosaurus and Microraptor. And since the release of the first book, it would sell at least 2 million copies in over 30 countries and would receive Hugo Awards for Best Original Artwork, which is very impressive, by the way. Now, growing up during the 90s, my brother and I were huge fans of the book series. So when we heard news of a Dinotopia movie in development, we basically went crazy with excitement. But unfortunately, plans for the film were rejected due to the expense of creating a world populated by both humans and dinosaurs. Both Columbia Pictures and Disney at one time made the attempt, but both studios abandoned the idea, Disney opting to make their own homegrown film, Dinosaur, in 2000. But just as we thought all hope was lost, we heard news that Hallmark Entertainment and Walt Disney Television were working on a 3-part miniseries based on the first 2 books in the series. Sure, it wasn't a theatrical production, but it did seem promising since Hallmark did produce some great book adaptations for TV like Gulliver's Travels, The Odyssey, Alice in Wonderland, and Moby Dick. So on May 12, 2002, my brother and I tuned into ABC to watch the movie we've been waiting an entire decade to see, and it was completely awful. Instead of focusing on the main characters from the books, father and son Arthur and Will Dennison, the miniseries centered around 2 teenage brothers from modern day named David and Carl Scott, who crash their father's plane into the sea and get stranded on Dinotopia, where they must adjust to a new society. It's like the plot to all the horrible Hollywood adaptations to properties like Gulliver's Travels, The Smurfs, and the 2 Journey to the Center of the Earth films. And that is one of the biggest things wrong with this miniseries, the change in time setting. This was of course done to try to modernize the story to make it more relatable to the kids, but changing the setting from Victorian era to modern day takes away the steampunk feel from the original books, which loses focus on what the book series was like. It's dinosaurs mixed with steampunk technology. How do you screw that up? Not to mention the visual effects were awful, surprising as the computer animation of the dinosaurs was done by Framestore CFC, who also did the CGI work for the Walking with Dinosaurs series, and the animatronic effects were done by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Also, the characters were all bland and boring, the story was cliched as hell, and worst of all, some of the dinosaurs could actually talk. Yeah, I'll get into that later. This miniseries was unfortunately followed by a TV series which, thank God, only lasted 1 season. And for the next 3 years, I basically heard nothing else about Dinotopia. I mean, with the failure of the TV show, I doubted there was anything Hallmark could do to screw up the series even more. Then, in 2005, I found this at my local Kmart. Of course, being a kid back then, stupid, I asked my mom to buy it for me. And I have regretted it ever since. Looking at the DVD cover art now, I can't help but wonder what the people at Hallmark must have been thinking when making this movie.
Alright everyone, we got one last chance to do a Dinotopia project. Fans didn't like the miniseries or the TV show, so what can we do to change it around? Those Land Before Time movies keep making money and they have dinosaurs in them.
Yeah, are they like on their, 11th film already?
That's it! We'll make an anime movie about Dinotopia. Yeah! Kids love cartoons more than they do boring live action. But how do we make it more appealing to kids other than just the dinosaurs?
How about one of the main characters is a kid with a skateboard?
Brilliant!
Love it!
Kids do love skateboards.
That they do. Now how do we get the kids' parents to watch the movie too? We don't want to alienate them.
Yeah, they'll be the ones buying the movie.
How about celebrities voicing some of the characters?
Yes, of course! Brilliant idea! Brilliant!
Well, I do try.
And that's why you're getting a raise. Now then, back to the celebrity voices. Johnson, who do you have on standby? Let's see here. Okay, we've got Alyssa Milano. She's real popular with the kids these days. Malcolm McDowell. The guy from A Clockwork Orange and Caligula? I don't know. Won't he be too scary for the kids? Nah, he'll do just about anything for money these days. Remember Tank Girl?
Not to mention Milk Money. Touche. Okay, who else?
Kathy Griffin, Jamie Kennedy, George Segal, and... Michael Clark Duncan.
Who?
The big black guy from the Green Mile.
That guy could be our own cash cow for this film. I do love cash. Okay, he's in. In fact, hire them all and give Michael, that Milano kid, and Jamie Kennedy top billing. As for the other voices, we'll just hire that one guy from the Drew Carey Show and that girl who voices that goth chick from Teen Titans.
Yeah!
Brilliant! I do love the Drew Carey Show.
We could at least put some thought into the plot. Try to keep within the style of the books.
You're fired.
For years I've been thinking of reviewing this movie, but every time I've tried to, it hurts me just to watch this atrocity again. But now, thanks to a certain Gmod arch nemesis, I have no choice. So let's just get this over with already. Released to DVD on May 17th, 2005, the movie is Dinotopia: Quest for the Ruby Sunstone. God, shoot me. Our story begins in... Really? Modern day again? Didn't they learn from the last time? Dinotopia and modern day doesn't mix. Anyway, we meet our main character about to leave an orphanage, but not before saying goodbye to a fellow orphan.
If you get up at night, you're trouble. And if you're trouble, no one will adopt you.
I know, but see, I'm 12 now, and moms and dads want to adopt little kids just like you.
They do?
Mm-hmm. But when you get big like me, you don't get adopted so easy. It's time for me to go out and see the world.
Wow, the kid must have been bored of his hammy speech. So our main lead climbs out onto the roof, mounts his skateboard, and escapes the orphanage. Tony Hawk style. He ends up at the docks and is able to sneak aboard a cargo ship and hides in one of the covered lifeboats as the cargo ship sails out to sea. Though I don't understand how he can remain hidden with that flashlight on. Regardless, a massive storm occurs during the trip as the ship's crewmen try to keep the crate secured under the boat. Unfortunately for the kid, his lifeboat breaks loose and is set out into the ocean. Okay, that's a little better than crashing a plane, since it was a shipwreck in the original book. But that's like saying stubbing your toe is better than breaking your leg. It still hurts. And here's another problem with the film as we see in the next shot. We immediately see him crash land on an island. Yes, after a brief shot of him shouting for help in the lifeboat, we immediately see him on an island without any sort of indication that he was asleep or knocked out or anything, let alone coming across an island. It's like the so-called writers said, kids today are so impatient, let's just get them to the island ASAP. There's a thing called pacing, people. You need to pace yourselves to establish the setting. So anyway, the boy comes across a mysterious person hiding out in some bushes.
What's your name?
I'm Tex Bradley.
Kex? Seriously? His name is Kex? What kind of a name is Kex? I mean, maybe if he was a resident of the island that would make sense, but he's from America. No person in their right mind would ever give their child a stupid name like Kex. So after a little tug-of-war match with his backpack, Kex discovers that the mysterious person in the bushes is, in fact, a talking dinosaur, voiced by Alyssa Milano. He reacts the same way anyone would in his situation.
Dinosaurs! Ah! You know, I'm thinking it's a tall thing again, Shanice. You're just too much girl for most guys.
Hey, remember when I said I would talk about the talking dinosaurs when I got to it? Well, I'm gonna talk about it now. Now, believe it or not, in the original book series, the dinosaurs could not talk. However, because of their vast intelligence, they were able to communicate through either sign language or written language with an alphabet made up of theropod footprints. Now that's actually a really creative way of communication between man and dinosaur. But unfortunately, the people at Hallmark pretty much said, well, we can't just silence our characters, we gotta give them any personality possible no matter how tedious. And trust me, it only gets worse from here.
Keep away from me! Dinosaurs have been extinct for millions of years!
Yep. Extinct everywhere but here, on Dinotopia. Hey, what? Hey, look!
Well, it would be Dinotopia if you would, show the actual Dinotopia. All we're seeing is a beach with people and dinosaurs. For all we know, it could be Bedrock. Also, the book illustration of this scene is way cooler.
Dinotopia?
Yep. And I'm 26.
Wait, 26? As in the baby Chasmosaur from the live-action miniseries? So, is this movie a continuation of that, or did they just put her in there for marketing purposes? Either way, it's baffling. Well, apparently it doesn't matter now, because we get to show off more skateboard tricks from Kex, because, character development for a Dinotopia film is pretty much useless. Thankfully, the unnecessary skateboarding crap is put to a halt when Kex accidentally breaks a few rocks with his skateboard, which sounds redundant and ridiculous. Thus, we meet 26's best friend, Mara, voiced by Tara Strong, who isn't too happy with what Kex did.
Look what you've done to this tide pool. How would you like it if someone tore up your home? Absolutely ridiculous.
Considering the lack of character development in this movie, I'm just gonna say, screw it and move on. So 26 invites Kex to stay with her and Mara, and Kex accepts. On their way there, they bump into two dinosaurs shoveling poop. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. These are Roga and Thug, voiced by Kathy Griffin and Wayne Knight. They'll be our Bulk and Skull for the movie. Actually, it's rather insulting I would compare these two to Bulk and Skull, since they were actually decent characters and at times were on the good guy's side. These two are more like Scratch and Grounder. Just the token dumbass henchman, which has been used before in every other animated movie. Well, anyway, these two have a map that might lead to a plot device, treasure, so they quit their jobs as poop patrollers in order to go treasure hunting. Hey, if I was forced to shovel crap, I would rather go on a treasure hunt. Hell, I'd rather do anything than sit through this pile of crap that's supposed to be Dinotopia. So now it appears that we are following Roga and Thud as they begin digging for the treasure inside of a cave at the base of a dormant volcano. Well, actually, Thud does all the digging while Roga just sits there and watches.
Roga, maybe you could dig for a while now.
Can't. I've got a hangnail. Besides, you wouldn't ask a lady to do that kind of work, would you?
If she's a lady, I'm a vermicious knit.
When Thud comes across a rock, Roga throws it against an obvious hidden passageway, causing it to chip away, revealing to be a large ruby. Oh, and passageway opens a shocker. But both the ruby and the two dimwits fall down and end up at the world beneath. Oh, come on! The world beneath is not that easy to get to. You need a submersible in order to find it. Yet these idiots just slide down a tunnel and boom! They're there? Shenanigans! Shenanigans! But we finally get to see a part of Dinotopia, the keyword being part, as our main heroes have basically skipped over what should have been interesting areas of the land and have immediately gone to the hatchery. Oh, wait, did I say hatchery? I meant daycare center. Could have fooled me with all the baby dinosaurs running around like preschoolers and a dinosaur babysitter on a rocking chair feeding one milk. Anyway, the hatchery is run by Mara's father, John, voiced by Diedrich Bader.
Where did they come from?
They're all orphans, I'm afraid.
They rolled out of their nests, or something happened to their parents. We take care of them until they get adopted by a human, who becomes their sorrow partner for life.
Sorrow partner?
Yeah, it's a dinosaur friend you've cared for since it was just an egg with a number. My number was 26.
So it's safe to assume that this movie has nothing to do with the miniseries, as Carl was the one who gave 26 her name and not John. Anyway, after the pandering bullcrap of explaining is over with, things suddenly go awry when the lights start to flicker on and off. This is due to the Sunstones losing all their power. What are Sunstones, you ask?
The Sunstones give everyone light and energy.
And create a protective shield over Dinotopia.
Yeah.
They trap radio waves, television and satellite signals, everything.
That's what keeps Dinotopia hidden.
Okay, hold on a minute. First off, that is not a sunstone. That is a quartz stone, used to reflect light from the sun to send signals. This is what a sunstone looks like. And they're only about this big. Second, that is not how sunstones work. In the original book series, sunstones were crystals that harnessed the power of the sun and were used as natural sources of energy that helped produce light and power for ancient Dinotopians. They did not trap radio waves, TV, or satellite signals, and they did not create a barrier that protected the island from the outside world. In the book series, the island was surrounded by a storm system and dangerous reefs that prevented people traveling to or from the island, hence all the shipwrecks. Hell, the only reason anyone ever survived the reefs was because, I'm not kidding here, they were picked up by dolphins who swam them to the island. Sorry for all the book comparisons, I promise not to make too many during the review, but hopefully you can understand why this movie pisses me off so much. Oh, by the way, the elderly dinosaur with the glasses and blanket is Albagon, voiced by George Segal. He's not a character in the book series, so who gives a damn about him? Anyway, back with the two idiots. As they scavenge their way through the temple, they notice mounds of rusty knickknacks as well as the ruby. But then the two begin to fight for it out of greed until they lose the grip and hit what appears to be some sort of sarcophagus. Who's that? I don't remember him from the books. Wait a minute. That's not supposed to be Ogthar, is it? Nah, couldn't be. The filmmakers wouldn't be that stupid.
Don't mumble when you address Ogthar, the rightful ruler of Dinotopia.
Oh my god, they would be. Let me explain. In the second book, The World Beneath, according to myth, Ogthar was a creature that was half man, half triceratops, who ruled as the king of the ancient sunken city of Poseidos, which was basically where the myth of the lost city of Atlantis came from, and who was responsible for inventing advanced technology such as the robotic dinosaur-shaped vehicles called strutters. Here, however, he's a regular human who came across the island over 100 years ago, hated it because it was so primitive, and planned to take it over with the strutters powered by the Ruby Sunstone, which also made him immortal, but was stopped by his own shipmates and imprisoned in the mechanical sarcophagus. And it's assumed that the descendants of those sailors went on to become the humans who now populate Dinotopia. Even though in the book series, humans have been on the island for thousands of years. The only thing positive I can say about this version of Ogthar is that he's voiced by Malcolm McDowell, but even he can't save this awful film. Anyway, he promises the two imbeciles that if they help him rework on his plan, he promises that he will make it worthwhile for them.
Imagine treasure beyond comprehension, with your servants to tend your every whim.
Okay, how does she even know about the Mona Lisa or Michael Flattery if there's no contact with the outside world at all?
Or there's what's behind the door. Choose wisely.
We want to be moronic gods!
Wise decision.
You know, I could like this guy. But let's not jump to conclusions just yet. So Algar charges Roga and Thud to steal dinosaur eggs and hopes to build a new army to pilot his strutters in order to take over the island. And already your plan is doomed to fail. Meanwhile, back at the hatchery, Mara chooses the egg to become her sorrow partner for life. And, being a girl of course, she chooses the biggest, pinkest one out of the clutch. Seriously, are these dinosaur eggs or large Easter eggs? Dinosaur eggs shouldn't be this big or colorful. Soon after, the hatchery is visited by probably the only thing left unchanged from the original book series, a Skyvax rider. And thank God for that, because my brother was obsessed with these guys when he was a little kid and always dreamt of being one. And who wouldn't? It's like being an Air Force pilot, but with a Quetzalcoatlus instead of a fighter jet. So that's 1 point for the movie. Anyway, the Skyvax rider informs him that all the Sunstones on the island are dying and that the mayor requests John and Albagon to attend a meeting at Waterfall City to see what can be done about it. And guess who John leaves in charge of the hatchery?
I want you to be in charge, 26.
Why?
If any of the eggs begin to hatch, you know exactly how to handle things. We've done it together hundreds of times.
But I've never done it alone.
Mara's going to have her hands full.
Hey, where can I plug in so my batteries won't run down?
And Keck still has a lot to learn about our ways. I'm counting on you. I trust you, 26.
I trust you to keep the horrible plot going so I can go off and not get involved until we reach near the end of the film. So as John and Albagon head off to Waterfall City, we get... this.
3 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Your music's bad and you should feel bad.
Thankfully, this is only a brief moment as we cut to Waterfall City, which actually looks the way it's depicted in the book series. Score 2 for the movie. Anyway, we see Albagon and John in the meeting as Albagon predicts that the Ruby Sunstone might be around and that Ogthar might return. Of course, as the audience, we already know that, so this is completely unnecessary. In fact, this whole movie is completely unnecessary. Anyway, back at the hatchery, Roga and Thud sneak in while the heroes are asleep and steal all the eggs. When our heroes wake up, they realize that the eggs are gone as well as a pair of footprints and car tracks leading outside.
This is all my fault. No, it's not, 26. It is. John trusted me, and now I'm messed up. Big time.
All you did was sing that stupid monkey song, so yeah, all your fault.
What are we going to do?
We're gonna get those eggs back.
So the search begins as our 3 heroes try to find the missing eggs, which are being pulled on a cart by Thud while Roga is chilling on top, and Ogthar acts like Daffy Duck. Anyway, our heroes catch up to the 2 Dimwitosauruses, and then we get more skateboarding!
Look out, bobbleheads!
What's that stupid doing, punk? Where'd he go?
Unfortunately, Keck stupidly gets caught in some quicksand, so Mara and 26 have to help him out, which gives a chance for Roga and Thud to escape, but not before accidentally leaving behind one of the eggs, which looks more like a rotting eggplant and bounces like a basketball. Let me guess. It's gonna hatch, and we're gonna get an annoying sidekick, aren't we?
Mama! Feed me! That's your milk.
I hate you, movie. I really, really do.
Where are we? What time's dinner? Anybody remember to bring my blankie? And boy, do I gotta go!
Oh my god, it's the dinosaur equivalent of Pauly Shore! This annoying little piece of dino droppings is Spaz, a baby Dilophosaur voiced by Jamie Kennedy. And judging by his design, the filmmakers have decided to rip off Jurassic Park, because according to paleontologists, Dilophosaurs never had frills on their necks. Oh, and just to add salt to the wound, this was after Jamie Kennedy was in Son of the Mask. Whether he was trying to save his career after that movie, it certainly didn't help with this movie.
We better go get those eggs.
They're headed for the Blustery Bluffs.
How do you know?
How do I? Hello? I heard them say it.
He heard them talk about their location from inside an egg. And at this point, I don't even care anymore. I shouldn't really question it, so why should anyone?
Hey, wait up! I got things I want to do. I've been cooped up in that egg for months. Hey, you guys listening to me?
Shut up! Anyway, Arthur continues to work on his plans, which catches the attention of everyone in Dinotopia. Meanwhile, our three heroes and one annoying sidekick make camp and rest for the night. And Spaz talks some more, doesn't he?
I'm gonna stay up all night. This place is gonna be party central. I'm putting in a disco ball. And if the neighbors complain, you guys can kiss my shiny blue butt.
You know, I think it's about time I finally used this clip. Ah, that felt great.
I trust you, 26. I know you won't let me down.
You know, I just realized something. I don't think Kex is the main character in the movie. I think it's 26. Yeah, I mean, think about it. She has a lot of more responsibility than the other characters and is basically a leader most of the time. Plus, her face is right there on the cover of the DVD case and Kex is way in the background behind her. So basically, Kex is more of a supporting character while 26 is the main hero of the film. Well, if that's the case, then why the hell is Kex even in the movie? Anyway, Roga and Thud make their way to the bridge, but not before Thud becomes constantly absent-minded by leaving the cart alone, causing it to slide down towards the bridge. They wreck the bridge while crossing it, as well as catching the attention from a large T-Rex. Dude, seriously? Are we really supposed to find that thing scary? Come on, it looks like the love child of Sharptooth from Land Before Time and Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. No way can anyone find this thing threatening in the least. Anyway, Thud almost gets eaten by the Rex, but thanks to the godforsaken cartoon logic of this movie, he rushes back up as the T-Rex chomps on a piece of wood, giving him a splinter in his mouth. Gee, I wonder if this will be essential to the plot later on. Knowing the writers, it probably will be. Anyway, now that the bridge is out, how will our heroes get across the gorge?
If I had some dynamite, we could blow the canyon up and run across the rubble.
I think when you have ideas like that, you should talk a lot less.
Smartest thing I've heard in the entire movie. Thank you, Tara Strong. They then notice a large iguanodon skin lying around, which gives Mara a plan to use it like a hot air balloon by inflating it with the natural gas shooting up from the geysers. Just because the dinosaur is called Iguanodon doesn't mean it shed its skin exactly like an iguana would! But surprisingly, thanks again to cartoon logic, the skin is able to float with our heroes inside. Unfortunately, they stumble across the T-Rex from earlier, who gives chase and punctures the balloon by biting its ass. Great, now it looks like it's farting.
Hey, what are you doing? Put me down!
Well, at least it's not as bad as... Yeah, moving on. The balloon crashes onto the ground as the T-Rex continues to chase after our heroes, who then manage to hide in a large ammonite shell so as not to be seen.
Excuse me.
A fart joke. Sure, why not? This movie is already full of bad jokes, so why not add one of the lowest forms of humor in there too? You know, in my opinion, fart jokes can work at times. In fact, there's only one character I know of that can actually make fart jokes funny. And that person is Cletus Clump.
You want your colon clean? Fine, I'm gonna clean mine. Yeah, nah, my colon is clean. I'm talking squeaky clean.
See, I told ya.
Hey, it looks like he's got a big splinter in his tooth.
Yeah, well, Stinktooth here ought to fly.
Whoa, wait. What did he say?
Yeah, well, Stinktooth here ought to fly.
Stinktooth. That thing is supposed to be Stinktooth. Okay, last book comparison. I swear, last one. In the world beneath, Stinktooth was the name of a Giganotosaurus, a predatory dinosaur that was said to be bigger than T-Rex, who was basically king of all the meat-eating dinosaurs on the island, and became a friend and ally to the main characters after Arthur saved his son Stantal from having his foot caught in some fallen logs when playing with another of his kind. You're telling me that this goofy-looking thing is supposed to be one of the coolest and most respected characters in the original book series? No! No! Shame on you, Hallmark! Shame on you! I'm okay. I'm okay. Let's proceed, shall we? So as Kex and Mara bicker at each other on what to do next, 26 decides to help the T-Rex with his splinter problem. And no, I'm not calling him Stinktooth. He doesn't deserve to be called that.
There.
See what I mean? So anyway, the T-Rex, voiced by the late Michael Clark Duncan, thankful for 26 helping him out, tells the group that Roga and Thud were taking the eggs to an entrance inside a volcano and mentions a strange red glow that came from inside, which is of course the Ruby Sunstone.
Aw, man, I've had enough. Quicksand, killer T-Rexes. No offense?
None taken.
I'm going back to the outside world, where a bad day for me is when the orphanage kitchen is out of chocolate-covered donuts.
Whoa, whoa! Where did this come from? Earlier you said...
I'm just trying to save the egg.
And now you're saying...
I'm going back to the outside world.
Oh yeah, some hero you turned out to be, kid. First you're so determined to save the eggs, and now you're just giving up after 26 saved your ass from a T-Rex. Not even caring if Ogthar takes over the island and enslaves everybody. God, you're a whiny little crybaby.
You can't leave.
Oh, and you can't make it there on your own, miss.
Everything's so nice here on Dinotopia. Fine. Go.
My God, this conflict is just so forced. There is no point of having this happen. Seriously, did we miss something? Was there some storyboards or written drafts missing? Oh, who the hell cares? The movie is lost and forgotten for the sake of mankind. So anyway, the group reunites, say they're sorry to each other, blah blah blah, and then they finally reach the entrance to Ogthar's lair. Speaking of which, after receiving the eggs from Roga and Thud, once again discusses his plan to take over Dinotopia. Yeah, like you haven't told us already, you schmuck. So as Ogthar, Roga, and Thud take the eggs away, our heroes try to come up with a plan. Well, they got mechanical dinosaurs, so I think the answer is pretty friggin' obvious. Oh hey, cool! The Triceratops strutter looks exactly like it does in the world beneath. I'm impressed. So I guess that's yet another point to the movie.
Just hang on! There's gotta be some gadget I could use. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute! Digital technology on a device thousands of years old? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. 100 years old? Yeah, I'm retracting that point I just gave.
You must be f***ing joking! Use the front f***ing door, the bell's working!
Yeah, like that'll do anything. You see, in the books, a strutter can still work even if it loses its head, so Spaz can still... Oh yeah, I almost forgot the producers didn't even bother to read the books. All they did was look at the pictures. Anyway, Kex and Mara start loading the eggs inside the Triceratops strutter, but Ogthar plans to blow them up as well. Very slowly, by the way. So slow that 26 rams into him, causing his cannon to fire on the ceiling of the cavern. Remember when I said I could like this guy? Well, I changed my mind. So our heroes take both the eggs and the Ruby Sunstone and leave the cave. 26 plans to take the Sunstone to the top of the volcano to get rid of it once and for all, but Ogthar returns with a Scorpion strutter and attacks Mara and Kex.
Oh, look! Now it's a tri-legged top.
They actually wrote that line in. Good lord, this film gets worse and worse every minute. Anyway, 26, seeing her friends in danger, distracts Ogthar to try and chase her so Kex and Mara can get away with the eggs. Meanwhile, in Waterfall City, a Skybex writer informs that they have seen the heroes by the volcano, which prompts John to fly off and find them immediately. Even though in the book series it takes years of training for one to become a Skybex writer, so you can't just jump onto the back of a Quetzalcoatlus and expect it to follow your orders. Oh, why am I complaining? We're almost done anyway. In the meantime, Ogthar closes in on 26 and is about to eliminate her, but guess who comes to save her? Yup, it's not Stinktooth come to the rescue as he chomps on the Scorpion Strutter and tosses it off a cliff. However, Ogthar managed to escape before he tossed him out and continues his pursuit of 26 and the Ruby Sunstone.
Climb, 26, climb!
You know you can just eat him, right? It would save her a lot of trouble, you just eat him! 26 is cornered by Ogthar at the top of the volcano, but she gains the upper hand by dangling the Ruby Sunstone close to the edge.
Wait! You can't do that.
Oh, why not?
Because you need that stone just as much as I do. Without it, you won't be able to bring the other sunstones on the island back to life.
Huh. You know, I completely forgot about that plot line. But Ogthar tricks her, giving him the opportunity to take the Ruby Sunstone, and soon the two begin to fight for it, causing Edge to break away. Luckily, John comes in and saves 26 in the nick of time, while Ogthar falls into the lava, but not before putting his armor on that he coincidentally had... You know what? Screw it. He's dead. I don't care what the filmmakers intended, he's dead.
Epic villain death!
Yeah, who the hell cares? Alright, let's just make this quick. They reunite with the others. Kex chooses an egg for himself. Both his and Mara's eggs hatch, and they all live happily ever after. Whoopity friggin' do. Finally! I thought that movie would never end.
I'm back.
Oh, goody.
So, how was it? I missed having to egg you on during your time watching the movie.
How was it? Oh, I'll tell you how it was. It was awful! This movie is an insult to both Dinotopia and its creator James Gurney. While the animation is good for a home video release, and some of the background paintings aren't that bad either, though they don't live up to the beautiful illustrations by Gurney himself, everything else about this film is completely horrible. It's worse than any of the Land Before Time sequels, and that's saying a lot. The sad thing is, this movie, along with the live-action miniseries before it, actually had the potential to be good and get people interested in the Dinotopia book series. But most of the time, they botched up everything that made the book series interesting and engaging. The main characters are uninteresting, obnoxious, and annoying. The side characters are just as bad, even forgettable for the most part, and the villain, even though Malcolm McDowell still gives a pretty good performance, is completely flawed from his actions compared to the books. Not to mention the plot, which rushes from the start, then goes completely nowhere throughout the rest of the film. If any of you are interested in reading the original book series, then by all means, go right ahead. There are currently 4 titles in the main series, including Dinotopia, A Land Apart from Time, The World Beneath, First Flight, and the most recent, Journey to Chandara. Heck, go check out the countless tie-in novels written by other authors if you want. All are available at either your local library, bookstore, or online. But whatever you do, do not watch the 2002 miniseries, and especially do not watch this miserable, horrible, unnecessary abomination of an animated movie. I give this smoldering piece of childhood raping crap 1 star out of 5. It doesn't even deserve the Dinotopia name. I just hope that one day, the book series is adapted faithfully into a film series worthy of being up there with the likes of Harry Potter, Chronicles of Narnia, and Lord of the Rings. But after seeing this, it'll probably be a long time before that ever happens. There, you happy now, CGI?
Congratulations, Toonmore. You successfully watched a horrible movie. What are you gonna do now?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna destroy this DVD once and for all so I can't hurt anyone ever again.
Well, have fun with that.
I will!
That's it.
There. I did it. It's gone. Gone forever.
So wonderful.
Yeah, my anger and misery is delicious, isn't it?
Very. Like a bottle of wine and a slice of goat cheese.
Yeah, good for you. Now get the hell out of my face before I fire my mouth blazer at you again.
As you wish. But believe me, I'm gonna start visiting you a lot more often from now on. Ta-ta.
Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me for my next review. See you at the movies. Anime movies, that is. Oh, and happy Halloween, everybody. Next year's review will be more festive, I promise. I'm going back to read the books.